Hello everyone and welcome to a special episode of Michis Esport Diaries in slightly inappropriate clothing. But we had year-end conference, the CFO of the company have been here, division management had a couple of questions towards us. And it came out of the appointment because I'm short on time. I was like, let's just get this video done, have some interesting things for you, and have a little bit of an insight what has happened on the past weekend in Maastricht. Whereas today we're not going too deep into the competition as such. As you have known, second place in the Sim Formula Europe, which got us this awesome little check. I mean, of course I don't have the money yet, but I'm expecting it at some point. However, that meant that we're going to be investing in our rig. And you know, I was thinking about investing prior to the event already, because I made up my mind a little bit and was like, yeah, you know, maybe it's time for a little bit of a change. And that is, first of all, what I bought is, you're going to be surprised, it's not for the rig. It is a licensed merch from Mercedes, because on the trade fair, on the Interclassics, there was a guy that was selling all sorts of shirts and all sorts of teamwear, and I found interesting discounts for those. So here we are, Mercedes white shirts, or wherever we're sitting in the Mercedes, maybe driving F1 Creator Series, you might see me wearing that. You know, I'm a massive Mercedes fanboy, so it was like kind of no-brainer being in the shop and be like, oh Jesus, this is officially licensed stuff and it's 60% off. Even despite it is last year's merch, I just had to get it. So that is the fun introduction of the actual video that I'm going to tell you about. And you guys will be up to this point like, what is he actually talking about? I'm going to go straight into it, because obviously that is not the purchase that I was talking about in the beginning. So I've made up my mind and I was like, I need something new in the short or at least medium term. Because if you have seen on the streams at times, the beautiful Sim Industries Formula Pro Elite version 1 is slightly starting to cut out. There is at least 2 buttons that are wonking, that have been pressed too many times, maybe also too hard of times. The dash sometimes cuts out. You know, like you start seeing some wear on the hardware, so to say. And you know, I'm not blaming the equipment at all. I still think GSI produces one of the most quality products in the sim racing world when it comes to steering wheels. So after 2.5 years of usage of that GSI, and as you know, we're using it for everything, I think it's about fine that equipment sometimes starts to get a bit wonky, right? So if a button is pressed 50,000 times over 2.5 years, I won't say it's expected to be broken by then, but I would probably say if it starts acting up, not 100% precisely picking up the press, and this is what happens, it's not like the button is broken, it's just sometimes you press it and either it's flickering or sometimes it's not recognizing, or it's just, you know, those steering wheels have been put under so much load and so much pressure that hardware failures at some point might be a thing that happen. So to prevent this, and I said this before what I'm going to get maybe, I just got myself a new GSI wheel. I need to hold it the other way around. Some of you have already seen me with this at the venue. Some could have already guessed what kind of steering wheel it is. So it is the Hyper P1 that I bought. And I have to say a big shout out to Danielle and Sim Industries. They have not only sold the wheel like right on stage, it's also, they had to do some fixing on it, because I wanted to have one with 6 buttons over the 6 shifter pedals at the back. Those obviously clutch and axis, 2 buttons or 2 shifters at the back. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use this for. We've seen in the Ferrari or also in the Red Bull and F1 that here is a DRS activation, whatever. You can also click through the menu, but the most important part is obviously the front side. Look at the amount of buttons. So we have the 6-shifter pedal version. We have 12 buttons, 2 funky switches, another multi-switch, and this is the great part about it. Those buttons, those rotaries, they are highly improved. They are more tricky to turn than on the FPE1, so there's a bit more resistance, which makes sure that you don't accidentally click them. And of course, just like in the V1, you can press them, like you may be hearing that. And when you press them and turn them again, it's a different axis that is being spoken. So if I got it correctly, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 5 buttons. Then into either direction, so 10 options in total, and plus because you can press them down, it's 20 options. Obviously LED, a new LCD screen, and what I'm looking most forward to are those two and those two. So more rotaries, more rotary encoders in that point. So I'm hopefully never going to be short on buttons again. It will be quite some memory play to remind on what I have put the buttons assigning wise when going into the software, like where's the DRS, where's the brake balance, where is the TC, where might be ARBs, where might be literally whatever you can put onto the steering wheel. I could think about making this a traction control, that a traction control, this one a brake bias, and that one, I don't know, at some point maybe we'll be able to be setting diff settings, like on iRace you can already do that. So yeah, this is it. This is a brand new toy for me. It will go on the rig on the cup on the upcoming weekend most likely. And I would like to say thank you to the GSI people for fixing this and adapting this real quick, because I wanted to have one with a red in the front, but then it had only 4 shifters. I wanted to have one with 6 shifters, and they were changing all sort of stuff right on the venue before I had to left on Sunday in precious time. So I could have gone to them earlier. That was probably the only mistake why I haven't 100% got what I wanted. But I have appreciated the possibility to even the things being adapted on stage and on side. And I know that one co-worker of Danielle, he was like drilling and fixing stuff. And I got it in time, set off to the train, then went home, and well, here we are now recording this video. So I'm looking forward to use this Hyper P1 on my sim recently. And now you could be like, Michi, you've just got 2K, like why the hell have you spent them straight away into all sort of stuff? Yes, it might look like that. The thing is though, even though if I wouldn't have won the 2K on the event, I would have still gone with a GSI steering wheel. I just wasn't sure whether the FPE version 2 or the Hyper P1. Safe to say that the €2,000 check from the Sim Formula Europe made the decision quite a little bit easier. And yeah, this is what sim racing sometimes is about. Earning a bit of money, reinvesting some money, make sure that the equipment stays top notch. And also maybe having a sporting advantage from probably increasing my number of buttons. Not only the full functionality of all buttons, but also the number of buttons in general for future sim races. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think. What is your experience with GSI? What is your experience with your steering wheels? Do you also have a GSI? Do you not have a GSI? If so, why yes and no? Let me down in the comments area below. Would really be interested to hear your opinion, because I'm quite honest with you. All the other steering wheels so far that I had, they started to act up within like half, maybe a full year. And apart from a shifter issue that I had with the GSI, and once again shout out to GSI sending over spare parts within 4 days coming from America. So with airmail and everything, there was quite some effort being put in by the guys to support me back with spare parts, and actually also with more developed spare parts. So the shifter panel that I had to change at some point had a more developed version and is now more resistant to failure. So that has worked out brilliantly, and so far I'm extremely happy with the product, it was a no-brainer for me to just like get for the for the same type of manufacturer again. Anyway, I would appreciate your comments down in the comments area below. Let me know. And towards the weekend, we're also going to speak about the event itself, because as much as I could combine this in all in one video, it would just get notoriously long again, because I'm talking way too much, as I'm doing right now as well. But fundamentally, there are some key points and key aspects of that competition that I would love to point out, which I think makes it deserving an own dedicated video to it. And some of you are pretty interested in that too, so I want to satisfy you guys, of course. Anyway, guys, let me know down in the comments area below, and if you appreciated the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and come back for more Michis Esport Diaries, or most importantly, obviously, for more sim racing streams and videos in the future.